Okay, so hi everyone. So we have another careers talk, and the topic is the era of 9 to 5 dead. So basically, the purpose of the topic is just discuss the differences between doing the 9 to 5 and being self-employed, and we're basically going to have kind of like a debate or a friendly discussion. We'll see how it goes. But basically, so we have a group of panelists that have experiences of either being in 9 to 5 or being self-employed. So just before we start, I'll just um, I'll just define what I mean by each term. So firstly, when I say self-employed, I'm talking about working for yourself. So this could be an influencer like Nella Rose, a business owner. So this could be business owner like Jeff Bezos or your someone that owns a corner shop, or freelancers. Those are all self-employed. And 9 to 5 is basically any time when you're working for someone else. So just so we clarify that. So yeah, so before we get into the myths, I'll just let everyone introduce themselves. So we'll just say our name, what we do, and what is it? And just clarify whether you're 9 to 5 or self-employed. And I didn't say it, but my name is Ari Costa. But yeah. So to go around, we'll start with Susan. And again, I don't really know if you can see the screen like I do. So Susan, Abianca, Prince, and Alex. And yeah, just tell us about yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Suzanne. I'm a digital marketing manager and I'm freelance.
Hi, everyone. I'm Abianca and I'm a news journalist and I work a 9 to 5.
Hi, everyone. I'm Prince. I'm an investor and I work for myself and I also run a company.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alex and I'm a communications director and I'm in a 9 to 5.
Cool stuff. So we made it even. So you have 2 9 to 5s and 2 self-employed. So myth number 1. Okay. If you're self-employed, you always do work you enjoy. So you'll find that most of these myths tend to be in favor of being self-employed. So I'll just clarify that the myth is if you're self-employed, you always do work you enjoy. And it's okay, Susan, you're shaking your head.
No, I don't agree with that myth simply because when you run a company, you wear so many hats and a lot of these hats. So I do digital marketing and the marketing side is just one part of it. I'm also, if need be, I'm doing hiring. I have to do finances if I'm not ready to hire an accountant. There's just so many other parts of it. So you're not just doing the work you enjoy. You're not just doing the role you were employed for, you're also running your company. And that also takes a lot of time and effort and research and reading. So I disagree with that myth.
Yeah. So since you're also self-employed, do you agree to have the same experiences?
I think to an extent I agree because for you to be self-employed, coming out of the 9 to 5, you need to be able to love what you do. You need to have a passion for it. So for me, as an investor and a trader, I have a passion for what I do, and to an extent, you tend to enjoy it when you love it. Okay, it's less of work and it's more of passion. So if you're making money doing something you love to do, okay, I think you spend more time developing yourself, enjoying it and also impacting into people's lives. For me, I left the 9 to 5 a while ago, and I just wanted to chase my dream. I had a passion for investments, trading, making money online, and teaching people how to invest and trade. So I think for me is now when I wake up every morning and I know I'm going to invest again, it's like Christmas every day. Okay, so it's more enjoyable than sitting in the office.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Every day going to work. That's nice. But is that exclusive just for someone that's self-employed? So Abianca, do you still enjoy what you do? Do you still feel passionate about what you do?
Yeah, definitely. Even though I do work in a 9 to 5 and I don't have the freedom to, write all the stories that I want to do, I still have a passion for it because I think although I wouldn't say the media industry has a lot of stability, but just the fact that I know that every single day I am going to work, I do have a job, it allows me to know that, okay, cool, what kind of projects can I work on, how far can I go, and it just makes it more exciting knowing that you don't have to worry about kind of paying the bills and stuff like that. It's just quite
Yeah.
consistent.
Yeah, and I think there was something key that you said, and I think that's on one aspect of this question as well. So you said that you enjoy it, but then at the same time you don't necessarily always have the freedom. And I think that's one of the things about these myths that people will say that self-employed, that they get more freedom in choosing what they want to do. So Alex, do you say you have doing a 9 to 5? Do you also feel like you don't have as much freedom in choosing what you want to do?
No, I think I think choosing what to do is, I think that's very subjective. So like with what I do, I enjoy what I do, even though it's a 9 to 5. And you know, the world will tell you, oh, the dream is to leave the 9 to 5, and until you've left the 9 to 5, you know, you haven't made it anywhere. And I think, you know, if you feel fulfilled in what you're doing, then I think that's a big part of it. So I enjoy what I do. I do crazy hours, but I still enjoy it. And I think regardless of, you know, whether you're like Abianca news journalist, or you know, whether you're a digital marketing manager, I feel like as long as you enjoy what you're doing, self-employed or 9 to 5, that just almost becomes irrelevant. You just enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I think all in all, this particular myth, if you're self-employed, you always do work you enjoy. So it was kind of that you don't always do work you enjoy. There are different stuff you need to do, but it's not only self-employed people that get to enjoy. So everyone agrees?
Facts.
Okay, cool. That was an easy myth to bust. Okay. Myth number 2. Only 9 to 5 workers have job stability and benefits. So I think let's just clarify the term job stability. So, well, anyone can disagree with me. When I say job stability, I was thinking like you're more likely going to stay employed. No one's going to take your job away from you unnecessarily. And benefits, I was thinking like stuff like pensions. I can't think of other job benefits, but yeah. So only 9 to 5 workers have job stability and benefits. So who can I go first? Okay, Prince, what do you think of that myth? Like, do you still feel like you have job stability and good benefits being self-employed?
When I was in the 9 to 5, I was getting good benefits. I'm not gonna lie, and it was I wasn't creating it myself, so I depended on my bosses to give it to me. Well, now that I'm working for myself, you know, I have to level up. I have to be up and doing. But I'm telling you now that I'm making more money than I was making in my 9 to 5, and it's covering for the benefits I was getting in my 9 to 5.
Okay.
So it depends on how you balance it. If you do the checks and balances and you see what's coming in and what's going out, and then you do with that, staying with your business, or going into the 9 to 5 is more beneficial.
Okay. So with you, your income, so you're fortunate that your income makes up for the fact that you don't necessarily get the same benefits you did when you were being
Absolutely,
yeah. What about Alex? Do you feel like you get, or what do you think? What's your perspective?
I think it's what you prioritize as a benefit. So, for example, you know, people who, and this is not me trying to put down self-employed people at all, but if you're self-employed, you can sleep longer.
Now let's go. It's a debate.
You can wake up a lot later for work. Whereas, you know, as a 9 to 5 person, I'm on the office at like 8:30. There's going to be questions to be asked. So I think that's a benefit. I think when you start talking about stuff like pension, private healthcare, and all this stuff, yeah, it's a good benefit. And, you know, holiday allowance, for example, I get 25 days, you know, self-employed people get unlimited. So, you know what I mean? I think it depends on what you count as a benefit. But being honest with you, I think a lot of the benefits you get in a 9 to 5 now, you can go and get it yourself as a self-employed person. Like, you can go and apply for a private pension. You can go and apply for, you know, healthcare. So I think, to be honest with you, I wouldn't read too much into that.
Okay. So with you, like doing the job that you do, are you satisfied with the benefits and job stability that you get?
I mean, it can give me more days off, but, you know, I'm satisfied.
Yeah. That's good. And Susan, so Alex touched on the fact that when you're self-employed, there's still ways of getting benefits that you would have gotten when doing 9 to 5. Have you set stuff like that up for yourself?
Yeah, so in terms of like private pension and stuff, the one thing that I do miss is just like little schemes like don't know, like the gym membership stuff and certain, I don't know, exclusive memberships and stuff like that. Those kind of things. I mean, you can do it yourself, but it would be better if another company was doing it for me. But like Alex said, it does depend on what you class as a benefit. In terms of like time to having the work-life balance. And like for me, one of the benefits, but I feel okay, I don't know if this. No, I would say as a freelancer, one of the great benefits I have is that I can truly just like work from anywhere. So like last year I just traveled a lot, and honestly, because I do digital marketing, all I need is my laptop to work, my laptop and a reliable internet connection. But that was a benefit for me, where it's just like I had freedom. And like Alex said, do you know what? The way Alex phrased it made it sound like we just sleep here and we don't. But yeah, you do like get to sleep a bit longer. Like you're not rushing to be in the rush hour traffic and be at work for like 9 o'clock type of thing.
Yeah, so you're touching on another myth that we're going to discuss as well. So we'll go into that in more depth. But before we move on to Abianca, what are your thoughts in terms of the fact that saying that only 9-to-5 workers get job stability? What are your thoughts?
I would definitely say it depends what industry you're getting into, because like the journalism and news industry, there is this known fact that if you're working for certain companies, they can fire you within that week or just tell you, sorry, we're making your team redundant, you need to pack your stuff and go. A lot of companies have high turnovers. A lot of companies are very quick to dismiss you without any warning. So I would say, I don't know, I do feel as if when you're a journalist especially, you're kind of always on your toes, because you know that although I'm staff, they could easily get rid of my team, whether it's because of budgets, advertising is no longer paying, particularly at a time where print and TV, not everyone's always reading the newspaper or watching television. So it does depend what industry you're in when it comes to 9-to-5 and stability.
Yeah, that's a good point to touch on. I think that's going to be a trend as well in most of these myths that we're going to discuss. So yeah, myth number 3. Okay, so a lot of people say they want to be self-employed because they want to be their own boss. They don't want to answer to nobody. They don't want anyone telling them what to do. So the myth is being your own boss, so aka self-employed, is less stressful. Is that true?
I don't agree.
Okay, Susan.
I don't agree. Well, I can only speak for like what I do. So for what I do, like it's digital marketing, right? And I have to like be like constant. Obviously, you're always constantly thinking, always trying to be creative, but you have to be like extra creative, and you have to really just show value and really sit down and think like what company. So for me, I kind of chose certain sectors and would look at companies within that sector to pitch to get contracts within them. But it's just like you really have to like spend so much time putting together your pitch decks, putting together ideas, creative ideas to show your value. And I just feel like with a 9-to-5, like they kind of tell you, okay, this is the project you're working on, and then you just work on it. I don't know. They kind of have like it's more streamlined to you. I'm talking about my sector. So in that way, I feel like it's less stressful because they can just tell you, okay, this is what we're working on, and that's what you're working on. Do you know what I mean? Whereas you have to go out and be like, okay, let me think what we could work on together. Let me think how I could help you. Let me look for the hole in your marketing, how I can take you to the next level. So in that way, yeah. And also, there's a lot of stress. So with a 9-to-5, I feel like it's very comfortable in terms of on the 25th or the 28th, you're getting your paycheck. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes, a lot of the times in freelance, you have to go and chase for someone to pay your invoice. Like sometimes these clients really just be dragging their feet. You have to now, like some freelancers now have to make sure they are very like literate in adding like late clauses to their invoices, because these companies will be late and try to not cover the late fee payment. So it's just like it's a whole lot of like if you don't, you have to chase basically. I don't expect to see the money on the day that I said it will be paid. I expect like sometimes for it to be late. Whereas if you're in full time, if they don't pay you, you're just gonna go and stand at your manager's desk and be like, "Excuse me," you know. So that's what I think.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Susan and Alex, you're in a similar industries. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So Alex, so she said comfortable. And she said, actually, you made a valid point. The fact that you said that, what did you say again? That not only you're not only doing the work, but you're also searching the work, and then you're also acting as an accountant, and then chasing up stuff. So so that sort of like it's against the myth that being your own boss is less stressful. This sounds like more stress. So Alex, what do you think of? What's your perspective, or what are your experiences? Doing a 9 to 5 and also being involved in digital marketing, do you think that you don't experience much stress doing what you do?
You see my eyes. I don't sleep much. Not to be honest with you, I feel like it's give and take. I'll be honest with you, both sides are very stressful, but I feel with our industry, and I feel me, Abianca and Susan, we work in a very similar industry in terms of media. I think my industry, I have to answer to clients. So, and most clients are, to be honest, I don't even know the nice way to put it, but they're very special people. Yeah, they're very blessed. They're very blessed people. So I feel like it's I wouldn't say it's more comfortable, because there's other things you substitute in terms of the pressure. So for example, you know, I remember yesterday we were trying to rehearse and do this, and 2 days ago, and I got a call from a client at 8:30 on a Friday night telling me, "Can you help me with this?" That would never happen if I was self-employed. I'd just be like, "You haven't paid for these hours I'm giving you, so buy it." Whereas if I did that, I would get a call from my MD or director the following day being like, "Hey man, is everything all right? You know, let's talk about your job security here." So I would say you just substitute different things that make you come. That makes it less stressful, to be honest with you. They're both as stressful. Yeah. If you're working, it's work. It's going to come with stress.
Yeah. So the difference is that although you may not have to be sourcing for the work, you still have to you have the pressure of having to live up to what you're being paid to do and pleasing your managers and stuff. So Abianca, so being in journalism, so you are doing a 9 to 5, but what do you think? Do you think doing a 9 to 5 and being in journalism is less stressful than if you were a freelancer, or what are your perspectives of this?
Do you know what? I think freelancing, particularly in journalism and media as a whole, is really difficult. Like Suzanne mentioned, you have to be chasing up people for their invoices and getting paid. And sometimes one thing I've experienced is when you pitch an idea, they're like, "Yeah, we love it," and then they don't get back to you. And then a couple of months down, you see someone with the idea you pitched, and it's like, what? Whereas if you're a staff, if you pitch that idea, you make it known to everyone in the company, "I'm working on this, so don't work on this," because they've already started doing it. And I don't know, I think in terms of that, you know that creatively, you have that security. No one's really going to steal your ideas within your company. But I don't know, personally, I do think being a freelancer in the journalism industry is just much more stressful. Because, like Suzanne said, you know, you're finding these stories, not even sure if people are going to take it or not. Are they going to pay you? And some people just generally don't respect the craft, you know, in the sense that sometimes you'll do all the work and they'll just take a little bit and then, you know, change their payment agreement. So I would say being a 9 to 5 journalist, I just have more security all round, creatively, a job security as well. And I think being a freelancer is just much more stressful.
Yeah, so you're actually in opposition to the myth that it's not 9 to 5 is much better, especially in journalism. And finally, Prince, so you said, and correct me if I'm wrong, you said you have been a 9 to 5 in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that you're now self-employed. So what are your experiences? Has the stress gone? Has it piled up?
I think it's less stressful. Because I just like being my own boss, because I have that freedom, I have that flexibility. I can do what I want, say what I want to anyone. But to be honest, when I was in that 9 to 5, you have to follow a specific structure. You know, you wake up 7 o'clock, you go on the train. You know, you have to be early to work and blah 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 blah. And that was long for me, to be honest. But when I started my business, I could work till 12 o'clock in the midnight. I could structure my time, and that flexibility, you know, that freedom is what makes it less stressful for me, because I love what I'm doing. So that flexibility of time is very, very important. The wise man says that if you're doing what you don't love to do, it's stress. But if you're doing what you love to do, it's passion. So when you have a passion for something, trust me, you say 2 o'clock in the midnight, you're still working, and it's not, you're still happy about it. But for now, I think personally for me, I'm enjoying the being my own boss, because I'm in control of my own time. I can do whatever I want. And I work from home now, so it's
Okay. So we actually have varying opinions when it comes to this, but I think this also seems to be based on like what you're doing, so what the industry you're working in, stuff like that. And particularly for you, Princip, what I'm getting the feeling of is that because now I'm self-employed and you're enjoying it, you don't care, like it's stress free, you're living life and stuff. So yeah, that's cool. So myth number 4. So this myth is probably like one of the main reasons, well, I think, my perspective, that a lot of people seem to want to go towards self-employed. And I can't lie, I've been guilty, I've considered it. And it's basically the myth that you get paid significantly more if you're self-employed.
You do.
So, you do? Okay, raise your hand if you agree.
Well, you can.
Yeah, you can. You can. I'll say that.
Kind of.
Well,
Kind of.
this can. So I'll start with Avianca. What do you mean by you can?
You can. I mean, it's not always guaranteed, but and like we've been saying, it does depend on what industry you're in. But what I know from the media industry is that if you are a freelancer, they tend to pay you more, like daily, weekly, monthly, because they know that you might not be in 5 days a week. So that one day you're in, or those 2 days you're in, they're just going to pay you more. Because they understand that you are a freelancer, you may not always be getting consistent work. On top of that, you could be freelancing for BBC, ITV, Al Jazeera, these big companies within that 1 week, and they'll all be paying you quite a lot. You know, you're getting like 1,000, 2,000 within that week alone, you know, just depending who exactly you've targeted and who exactly you're working for. So there is a potential of earning very good money. But I would say you need to build a good relationship with those employers first, which can be very difficult to do. So,
okay. So it's possible to get paid more, but it comes with work. You need to work on it as well. Susan, so you, like similar to Prince as well, you had an experience with being in a 9-to-5. I you already said this, but I'm telling them you had with being in a 9-to-5 and that you're now self-employed. So having seen both sides of it, what are your perspectives?
I definitely freelancing, I got paid so much more. Even with the company. So my first contract was with the 9-to-5 company, like corporate company that I left. And just in like a month alone, what they were paying me as in 9-to-5 and what you're paying me on freelance, I was just like, so I was just been taking this small change all this time. So yeah, you definitely do get like, I believe that you get paid more when you're freelance. But again, it's all about, I think it's dependent on like 2 things. Number 1 thing is that God is leading you. So a quick experience of mine is just that I kind of wanted to pursue in one sector and was pursuing companies in that sector. But there was a certain company that was really great, but then just one, like when I was fasting, this was in the 21 days, it was like God was just like, you should leave that company. But I was just like, but money is a chunk, you know, real money. And then it was just kind of like, so then other things started to dry up and I was just like, okay, I'll cut that one loose. And then stuff started going good again. So I just feel like God has to lead you, because yeah, you know, you could get money, but if God says no, you ain't getting money. And the second thing that I think depends on how much money you get is how much value you add to yourself. It depends on, you know, what kind of name you have in your industry, how much you've networked, you know, who can vouch for you, who's seen your work, who can vouch for the integrity of your work. And that's how I kind of like was doing well within my own like freelancing, is because I had like people that were above me that I had made really, really great relationships with, working relationships with, and then they kind of hired me for projects when they you know, didn't have enough staff to do it. They would hire me to do the work, and it's just like that. It's just like because of how much, you know, work I put in, because they've seen how hardworking I am, how diligent I am, and how much I add to myself and how much value I can bring. That was also bringing me work. It wasn't me pitching to them. They already knew that, yes, I can trust her to do the work. So it depends on whether or not it's God-led. And number two is how much worth you add to yourself. So yeah, you can get rid of
important to touch on as well. So it's like, it's not like just because you're self-employed, the money's just gonna come. You need to work towards it. You need to know how to set value.
Favor plays a big part. Favor plays a very big part.
Yeah, exactly. And not just becoming self-employed just for the money reasons, but also like actually being led that this is what you should be doing. Prince, so did I already ask you? I haven't asked you, have you? So yeah, so have you had similar experiences having gone from one to the other?
What you mean financially? Or?
Yeah, financially. So yeah, getting paid more.
Yeah. That's why I'm still here. So if I wasn't, I'll be going back to 9 to 5 real quick. But yeah, I think so. And not only working for myself, but there's some ideas I've come up with, and you know, it's paid me way more than kind of a whole 1 year salary. And
you know,
and it's just when you start working for yourself, you need to be a risk taker. You need to be ready to take risk and work by faith. Obviously, when God directs you and says, "This is what you need to do. This is what you're doing. This is your passion." And you've got the certification from God. Okay, you've prayed about it. Just go for it, because there's a level of risk you need to take to prove to God that you've got faith. Okay? And He's going to direct your path. And sooner or later you start seeing the you know, the chicken, you know, the everything coming through. But yeah. I personally, I think being my own boss is what I've always wanted to do. But it's not everybody's cup of tea. It's not everybody's cup of tea. There's some people that are happy with the 9 to 5 and fantastic, you know. But for me, it's just, you know what I'm saying. So yeah.
I'll ask you, Alex. So is being paid well exclusive to just self-employed people? So you're doing 9 to 5. Do you still get paid well? Are you still happy?
Yeah, no, I feel like I've never thought about it in terms of actually, you know, how much cash can I earn. I think Susan touched on a really important point earlier in terms of your value. And, you know, I think if you're someone that continuously just focus on adding value to yourself, regardless of whether you're self-employed or in 9 to 5, the money is going to come. Like, honestly, I feel like, I remember when I first started in, you know, the corporate industry as an intern, and, you know, I was getting paid an amount of money that it barely covered my train ticket. But, you know, it was crazy. It was so hard. You know, I might as well have been eating, you know, bread and water the whole time. It was tough, hard. But, you know, I feel like I started to add value to myself. I started to train up myself. And now, like, in my company now, I literally just, when it comes to, like, you know, reviews and quarterly cycles, I just tell them, yo, this is what I want. And by God's grace, honestly, because I'm not a skillful guy, sometimes I walk in and I say some certain amounts. They're like, yeah, sure, that sounds good. And I think, what's happened here? So for me, it's been good. I've been seeing stuff flying that I've just been like, you know, when you look at your title, you think, wow, okay, thank you, God, for where you brought me to. Yeah. But that came with focusing on God and always adding value to myself. Whether you're self-employed or 9 to 5, to be honest. So yeah.
Yeah. So just to summarize as well, like you guys have been saying, altogether, just focus on God, like Alex said, and make sure you're building your worth and money will come for both sides. But yeah, Okay, number 5. Self-employed people can take time off whenever they want. So we started talking about this earlier, but we're saying they can go on holiday when they want. If they don't want to work today, they don't have to work today because they're self-employed. So, Alex, you just spoke. I'll start with you again. What is your perspective of this question? This myth?
They're always on holiday. It's a fact. they're always on holiday. Do you know what? The self-employed people, they have it really, really good from that perspective. They can take holiday whenever they want. That's just a fact. But I feel like, again, there's pressures that comes with being self-employed that almost balances it out. But yeah, you guys don't get restricted by holiday. Like you can, if you like, you can take like 6 months off and no one's gonna pull you on it. So yeah, that's a fact. You self-employed people are really enjoying.
So Prince, if you wanted to take 6 months off, can you do that? Have you done that?
No, I can't do that. No. So,
Yeah, right. You can.
listen, I'm telling you now, you've got to be disciplined. If you're not disciplined with your business, it will just disappear. So you can. I mean, you have the ability to, but is it right to actually take a 6-month holiday in your business? You know, you still want to keep that level of discipline. You want to use common sense as well. Just because you have that available to you, then you just take it anyhow. No, there has to be a structure as well, just like the 9 to 5. So personally, I'm not really a holiday kind of person anyway. If I'm on a holiday, I'm taking my laptop with me and doing some work as well. So I think that discipline is very, very important. And I think it's just the same with the people working 9 to 5. In fact, being somebody that has your own business, you being your own boss, you work more because you're constantly thinking. Even if you're on a holiday, you're thinking, do you know what? Okay, I've got that client. I'm in charge of making this. I'm in charge of doing that. But as long as you're that person that you can absorb stress better and you can take risks better, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, no, I get you. Because because I'm intern at a company now, so if I go on holiday, I don't need to think about what's going on in the company. Like when all the COVID thing was happening, I'll go as long as you pay me. When I'm not working, if I'm on holiday, whatever happens. Just pay me at the last Friday of the month, and I'm cool. But because your business is you need to keep thinking. You're always on the go. So yeah, that I get that. Susan, can you relate as well?
Do you know, I completely agree. I completely agree with what Prince said, and I agree with what you said, because when I was in my really corporate setting, 9 to 5, 2 different jobs, as in when I say I'm on holiday, the time that I leave that office, if you like, let the office burn. Me, I'm on holiday. It doesn't really concern me. When I'll come back and we'll see what was going on.
Pay me.
Like whatever happens in that building, as in the work phone is off, dead battery. I'm not even checking emails. It's not my business. But when with freelance, you're never not thinking about it, honestly. And yeah, and the difference is as well is I take, I used to take more. I'm more responsible now, paycations instead of vacations. Whereas I'm still working, but I'm in a nice environment. You know, I'm just taking my laptop by the pool instead. You know, so that's the kind of thing that you can do. And I feel so just to be a bit more general with social media influencers as well, their work just can be holidays, it's to create content and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So it looks you can be more flexible. It's more fun. You don't have to be your work doesn't have to be 9 to 5 and client meetings. It's just a more, I will say, creative, and some creative may translate to fun for some people, but it's just a more creative way of making money. And yeah, I think that's the truth. That's my experience.
Yeah, because like you said, you could, you as self-employed or influencer or something like that, you could be on holiday, so you're snapping the beach, but then they can't see behind the camera, you've got your laptop there and stuff like that. So okay, you're on holiday in a different location, but you can
exactly.
Whereas when you're doing 9 to 5, your holidays are your holidays. That's it. That's what I think. Abianca, do you agree? Do you get freedom? Yeah, Alex is shaking his head. If we have time, we'll go back. But Abianca, do you agree?
I would say not really, and I think it's because of like the industry. Because even when I'm off, I still have to be keeping up to date on what's happening. I cannot log off my emails because I have to know what's happening, what's going on. Because I've even spoken to other journalists who've had to come off their holidays, who've had to fly back because whether it's something in politics, something in science, whatever, they need all the reporters they can get back in the newsroom because they just can't handle everything going on. Like, those who are senior in particular have had to come back or quickly figure out something with childcare. I've seen other people in TV stations actually bring their kids to the office because it's that deep. Yeah. So I would say, like, as much as you can get time off, I don't think there's that kind of like freedom to just go somewhere and make people perhaps, but if you're like focusing on hard news, you need to always be up to date with what's happening, which can be really hard if I'm honest, because there are times where you just want to like forget about everything, like forget about news, forget what's happening, but you kind of know that you can't really do that. You have to always be up to date. But
yeah. So you kind of need to be aware of the industry you're getting yourself into, and also actually like make sure it's something that you enjoy, because there's some industries, like you said, like journalism, and I'm assuming digital marketing is similar, because Alex was shaking his head that you're always going to go. So even you can't just like abandon it altogether.
I think it's what role you're at as well, if I just mentioned that, because for example, if you are at a junior role, life is easier, I guess, than that senior or a director. They won't necessarily expect me, for example, a junior news reporter, to take time off from their holiday. But at the senior I go, that's an expectation they will have.
But it's crazy to me that you mentioned that like you could have to possibly fly back from your holiday early.
Yeah, it happens. That's
really going to pay for your money you wasted.
I never got the message. I didn't see it.
There's no Wi-Fi where I am.
No Wi-Fi.
You hotspot. That's what you do.
Okay. Finally, so we'll just do this one quickly, or actually we'll do it thoroughly but quickly. Myth number 6. I think this is very important, and I think this is something people have in the back of their mind, that when you're doing a 9 to 5, you can't fulfill your potential. That, like, for instance, 9 to 5 is a barrier, that it's only self-employed that you will actually be able to fulfill your potential. So, okay, Prince, what's your perspective of the fact that that myth? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. It depends on what context you're talking about. If you're talking about fulfilling purpose, then it's just dependent on how God has directed you. If He says stick with the 9 to 5, and you can still make a lot of impact if that's where He's directed you to. And if He says break out and do your own business, then you'll make an impact as well. I don't think that you can't fulfill your potential by sticking to a 9 to 5. However, the 9 to 5 structure is kind of restrictive, and that's personal to me, because the salary is capped. Okay, you can't all of a sudden double your salary or triple your salary. You have to listen to your boss to say, okay, this is your salary. If you don't want it, you can move to another company. But with being your own boss, you can multiply your salary by working harder and harder and harder. It all depends on you personally. So I think it doesn't restrict you, but being your own boss makes it more flexible.
Okay. So Alex, you're in an industry where people are able to, and as you can see with Susan, be freelance. So there must be a reason why you're doing 9 to 5. Like, what do you think of this myth that you can't fulfill your potential if you're doing 9 to 5? What do you think?
I think that's not true. That's definitely not true. I feel like the reason the world's got a funny way of shaping this financial freedom and tying it to being self-employed. The world's got a funny way of doing it. And I feel like the reason people are saying, self-employed, 9 to 5, jumping from roles to roles, because no one has an aim. No one's aiming at anything. So everyone's just taking shots at different things and hoping it's going to work. One day they want to be a content creator on social media. Next day, one day, they want to run their own cake business. Another day, they want to do hair. They want to be 9 to 5. So everyone's just taking different shots. And I feel like when you're prayerful and when you think about kind of where you want to go, whether you're on 9 to 5, whether you're self-employed, you will flourish no matter what. So in my industry, for example, you know, I can't tell. I always believe that if you always know you're meant to be in somewhere where you start to fly and succeed and have a peace that comes over you with it. So in my industry, yeah, I work, you know, crazy hours, and, you know, I work, you know, really, really hard, but, you know, I feel so comfortable in what I'm doing. And like, when I even look back and I just take moments to think, I really thank God, because I know where I am right now is because God wants me to be here. And, you know, my view of kind of what I'm trying to do with my industry now, you know, I'm trying to get to a point of influence. You know, I'm looking for the day where we start to see the next Mark Zuckerbergs, you know, coming from, you know, churches, the next, you know, Elon Musk's coming from churches, right? You know, why can't we get that from people who are trying to do 9 to 5? So yeah, honestly, I feel you can fly. Me, I feel like I've been an example by God's grace. So yeah, you can fulfill purpose anywhere. As long as you water it, you can fulfill purpose.
I really like what you said. Very true. Abianca, do you feel like you're fulfilling your potential? I think we should, we've gone over a bit, so let's just be quick. So do you feel like you're fulfilling your potential in doing, while doing a 9 to 5?
Yeah, I think I am, in the sense that doing a 9 to 5, it comes with some sort of stability, which allows me to grow at my own pace in a way and have different mentors around me. So I have easy access to, you know, those who are much senior, and I see them every single day. I can go wherever and say, can you help me with this? What skills can I learn? Whereas sometimes my freelancer friends, they don't always have easy access to people at the top of the industry or the top of certain companies, which can sometimes hinder their progression or getting exclusive access to certain things. So I think being a 9 to 5 has allowed me to progress in different ways, which I don't really think I would have been able to do at this stage of my career if I was a freelancer.
Okay, yeah, very true. Yeah, so altogether, like, so you still get to, like, I think one of the main things we touched on is that you still be led by God, and is that fulfilling your potential isn't measured, like, you haven't fulfilled your potential because you've earned X amount. You fulfilled your potential because you're doing what, like, God has told you to do, and you're actually following a purpose. So I think that's one misconception. People are measuring potential and purpose by how much they're earning, which isn't true. So just to summarize as well, so let's just, I think if everyone could go around for Susan, I didn't let you speak about the last bit, but if you could just have, like, what's your, so we'll start with Susan, we'll just go around, just a concluding statement about this whole point, like, is the era of 9 to 5 dead, and all these myths that we've been talking about?
I will say that the era of 9 to 5 is definitely not dead. And I honestly will just say that as long as God is leading you, as long as, if he's led you down the path of 9 to 5, if he's led you down the path of freelance, it will never be dead, because the common denominator is God. As long as God is in it, there's no such thing as dead. When you're now leading yourself, that I can't speak for how you'll go on that one. But that's honestly my, like, that's my truth. That's what I believe. And I feel like there's no one set way. Like God's doesn't just say, you know, it's once away. We all know that life is a journey. It has its ups and downs. And sometimes God will put you in a 9 to 5 to learn, to build up, to add value, then say, okay, now go and fly and be, do you know what I mean, freelance. So the era of 9 to 5 is not dead. If anything, it's still very much flourishing, just as much, is equal. As long as God is in it, no one, like, there's no down part. You're equal with those who are high flyers, because God is by your side.
Yeah, wonderful. Abianca, what is your concluding statement?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I don't think the 9 to 5 era is dead at all. I think, you know, there are so many different ways to make impact while still being in 9 to 5. You know, there's so many different people you can inspire. You know, you can open doors for especially the younger generation and bring in more diversity. So I think, you know, if you're prayed about it and, you know, God is leading you, then you shouldn't worry. It doesn't mean there won't be stressful times or times where you are frustrated, but God will surely, you know, open the doors for you so that you can open doors for others.
Yeah.
Well done. I like that you said that you can still make impact whilst you're doing 9 to 5. You don't need to be your boss to make impact. You can be your boss, or be a boss or make impact whilst doing 9 to 5 as well. And like you said also, that there's stages as well, like doing 9 to 5 could be good in developing skills in your early career. Prince, what's your concluding statement, please?
Personally, for me, I would say, 9 to 5 era to me is dead. Because I have to be personal. Is dead because I'm now following what God has said I should do, and I think it's personal to everybody. If I was in the 9 to 5, if I was in the 9 to 5, it would have been a wrong. It would have been a wrong kind of like a sector for me because I haven't been called for that. God hasn't told me to stay there. He told me to come out the 9 to 5 and open my own business. Okay, so to me, it's dead. However, if you are called to stay in a 9 to 5, then it's what God has told you. So you don't want to be your own boss when God has told you to do something else. So I think it depends on the personal on the person's on the purpose that God has told you for.
So it's dead to you because that's what God has told you what you should be doing. So you should be looking back. Like God has told you. Because there'll be some people that actually prefer to be in a 9 to 5 but they're supposed to be self-employed and they're too scared. But I thought it's dead to you because that's what God has told you to do.
That's what God has told me to do, yeah.
And finally, Alex, what's your concluding statement, please?
Yeah, no, I feel I agree, to be honest, what everyone has said, apart from the fact that 9 to 5 is dead. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I feel like, it's all about impact. And if you're being led, then, you kind of, whether you're self-employed, whether you're in a 9 to 5, all of that just becomes irrelevant. If all of a sudden God told me it's time to be self-employed and set up a business, like I'll jump out. I'm not wedded to this thing. My thing is impact and going where I'm going to flourish. And the world. That's why we need to be careful about letting the world dictate. Oh, be an entrepreneur, be your own boss. All these slick quotes and statements about all this stuff. And actually, all you need to do is just focus on God, take instructions from God, and work on yourself, add value to yourself. I always reference the scripture in Thessalonians that says if a man doesn't work, he shouldn't eat. So if you're not looking to do work, if you're self-employed and going to be relaxing, you're not ready. So self-employed or 9 to 5, just focus on where you have impact and be led by God. That's me.
Yeah.
Right.
So I couldn't
Is it
say
okay
any better.
Because I feel like we might either be employed or have a 9 to 5, but there are some people who do both. There are some people who I do know who do have a 9 to 5 who but also have like whether it's their business, and it can be very stressful having both. But whoever's watching, if you are in a 9 to 5 and you don't want to leave it, but you also want to have your own business, that is still very much possible.
Yeah, very true. That's really
And
true.
sometimes your 9 to 5, it funds your side hustle anyway. So
yeah,
there's no right way.
I think yes, some people might be misled that
I'm more of an advocate of focus because you can't be here and there. Because I've tried it before, and trust me, it's really stressful. It doubles your stress level when you have a 9 to 5 and then you want to run a business.
Let's discuss this. Yeah. So we were all agreed, and then we started to.
I don't know where that came from. I'm with Abianca on this.
Same, I'm with Abianca. Wait, yeah.
Yeah, I think, I'm with Abianca too. I was supposed to be neutral, but yes. But true, like, I think, I see what you're saying about focus, but altogether, where we need to be led. It's not necessarily black or white, but yeah, it's true. You need to make sure you're being led and you're doing what God is telling you to do. I think that's something we all agree to.
Absolutely.
So I hope everyone listening, everyone watching, was blessed by that. And so that's our careers talk. And thank you, everyone.
Thank
you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.